A key Montessori principle is give them something to hold. And many times we're asked, why is that principle there? As Montessori said, they will learn through their hands. It is a key way of interacting with the environment. It is how we are able to engage with the environment. I'll give you an example. I was in a nursing station in a place in Texas, and I heard some screaming. And what was interesting was that the staff weren't paying attention to it. And I said, what's going on? And they said, oh, that's Mrs. So-and-so. It's time for her transfer so that she can be toileted. She always screams at this time. So I asked to speak to the nurse assistant who provided personal care. And I said to the nurse assistant, when you come into this woman's room, does she recognize you? Yes. Does she call you by the name of someone familiar to her? She goes, yeah, she calls me her sister. And has this woman had any physical issues that would cause her pain? Yes, she's had a hip replacement recently. And when you try to move her, does she say, why are you hurting me? And it was interesting that the nurse assistant was getting kind of wide-eyed in a sense. How would I know? Well, it's human stuff. We have to learn to look at the world through the eyes of this resident with dementia. All that they know is suddenly someone who is familiar is trying to hurt them. And it's painful to be moved when you've had a broken hip and be put into a wheelchair, for example, to be taken to a toilet. And so I said, well, I have some suggestions. First, find out what's appropriate, what is all right for this person to eat in terms of their diet. See something they like. Is it apple chips or apple slices? Something for them to hold. And when you're getting ready to transfer them, ask them if they would hold this while you're transferring them so that they can eat that when you sit down. It's a sort of a Lamaze technique. When a woman is giving birth, they're asked during contraction to focus on something outside of themselves, a focal point. And when your attention is focused on something outside of yourself, the perception of pain is reduced and your attention is divided that way. And so being able to look at the bag of apple chips or the apple that you're holding or whatever, it's using a kind of a similar technique. And then, of course, letting the person know we're getting ready to go to the bathroom, if they can understand that. So why are we transferring? Telling the person, okay, I'm going to lift you up now and put you on the wheelchair, and then we'll go to the bathroom. Would you please hold this while we go? And you can eat it on the way. It's pretty straightforward. And you also want to start bringing in some positive associations with the transfer process as opposed to all negative and all pain. You can see if they'd like to sing while you're pushing them on the way to the bathroom. It's all about trying to change the pattern of perceptions during this process. And so when you do these things, when you give the person something to hold, when you explain what's going on, you may need to give them a card which says going to the bathroom, if that helps also. It can greatly reduce the stress of the process. Give them something to hold. When we ask people about programming for persons with dementia, we say, are they holding anything? And that will give us a clue as to whether or not it's going to be something engaging.